Hello, everyone. Actually, today I just want to have a little conversation with you, and I won't be sharing any of True Parents' words in this message. I will be sharing more with you about what's going on moving forward, but I feel like this week I just kind of want to give you some simple context. And I want to start with a short story. When I was living in Las Vegas, Yumiko and I were the pastors in Las Vegas, and after Father passed, Mother came to visit. And so we live very close. Actually, we live next door to True Parents' home. And so every time Hundoke or any meeting with True Parents, I would just walk across the street. And this was like that. Even after Father passed, Mother gathered the leaders there. And of course, I'm just, one of the as the local pastor, I think there was always 20 or more elders, Korean leaders around. So I was always sitting on the sideline listening to Father's words, Mother's words. But this was after Father passed, and Mother had just come back to America. And she gathered all of the leaders. There was about 20 of us, maybe 20, 30 in the room. And interestingly, she gathered us not in the main area in front of the fireplace where we used to sit with Father and Mother. There was always, it was quite casual, but still there was a table set up in front of True Parents. There was flowers and a microphone, and then everyone would sit on the floor. That was usual. This time, Mother gathered us 2 steps up. There's another smaller living area, and that's kind of the more casual area. There's a couch along 2 walls, so chairs and couch. And Mother gathered us there. So it was even more familial than usual in this case. And with all these top-level leaders and, big responsibilities, big missions to accomplish, and the movement is like, at that point, everybody's, wondering and shaking. Father just passed, and what's next? What's Mother going to say? What's Mother going to do? And Mother very calmly invited one of the elder leaders to give a report, which was normal. But this report was not what I was used to hearing. Many big accomplishment reports I'd heard been given in front of Father. Big faith reports, big accomplishment reports. But this time, Mother picked out this one leader to stand up and share a report. And I'm not going to go through what the report was, and I don't even remember the details. All I remember is being shocked that Mother selected this person to give this report, because the report wasn't about anything big. It wasn't about anything grand. It wasn't about any huge outcome that had occurred. It was some small story about one of the second-gen kids, young child who'd had some kind of a simple dream, and somehow that dream had some meaning to what was happening later in her life that week. But what I remember hearing in this story, what I remember hearing in this short report, was the hand of God. God's touch. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't earth-shattering. It wasn't, providence changing in any way. It was simply a short story about God coming into the life of this young girl and her realizing something, and sharing that little story with her parents, and somehow that story got all the way up to this top-level leader, and somehow this was a short story that this leader conveyed with Mother, obviously some hours or days earlier. And of all the things Mother wanted to hear in that morning, she wasn't expecting to hear high platitudes, big promises, campaign, stadium. No. Of all the things, the first report she called upon was this little anecdote, this little story from one of our blessed children. And it was a cute little story. And honestly, the reason why I feel I can't even remember the actual details of that report was because, for me, I was in awe. And I felt like I was experiencing a new era of True Parents leadership under True Mother. And that the first story I would hear in this context, which is obviously many times intense, right? You're right there with True Parents. It's only a handful of people. At any point, things could change, right? Under True Parents leadership, True Father could say, okay, you stand up. Okay, you move over there. Okay, you go to this country. Okay, you report on this. Okay, you change. Oh, you know, you're right there in the eye of the storm. But this was the first time I had seen Mother with the same group of leaders that were there just a couple of months earlier with Father. And this was the story Mother pulled out. So that's why I don't remember the details, because I was just struck by the fact, how could it be that such a simple story, with no grandeur, with no great outcome, just a simple story about a young girl who met God. And that was the story that Mother wanted to hear. Do you think it's because Mother wanted to hear it again? She already had heard it and she picked it out and she said, share that. The reason was surely because she wanted everyone else to hear this story. And surely it wasn't just the details of that particular story that she wanted them to hear. But with this first action, I could see Mother conveying Heavenly Parent's heart in substantial form through the expression of our beloved True Mother, our Mother. So why am I saying this? Because right now we are going through a series of strategy meetings, right, with IHQ. And just this week, we had an amazing meeting together with Asia Pacific 1, Asia Pacific 2. And actually, Asia was chosen as the first region to report to Dr. Yoon and all of the staff at IHQ. So Asia Pacific 1 and Asia Pacific 2 together, sub-region by sub-region, and YSP and UPF, everybody reported to Dr. Yoon. And Dr. Yoon gave great feedback. So right now, this is kind of what's going on, right? All of the leaders, we're meeting together. We're really trying to unite with Mother's vision, unite with Dr. Yoon and IHQ to bring about real change in our region. And I will be sharing more about that, more details with you. I want to. But today I just kind of wanted to share an essential aspect, which goes beyond everything. And this is the heart of our True Parents and the heart of our True Mother specifically, that will go beyond whatever our next year strategy is, whatever our next 5-year strategy is, whatever our next 10-year strategy is, or big, scope, right? Because right now the big providential mission is to prepare for 2027 continental level restoration, continental level summits and blessings at the continental level restoration, right? So frankly, the work that IHQ is architecting is quite amazing, quite exciting, fantastic. And one of the points I was reporting to IHQ is that surely we have invested, not just the last 7 years, but 70 years we've invested so much more in the realm of, you can call it PR, marketing, expanding to our message to the masses. And that's one realm of activity. But True Parents have always expected us, wanted us to be taking care of ourselves, our families, our children. When I hear True Mother lament about second generation and blessed children's circumstance, she describes it very interestingly. Yes, of course, she will talk about Jungsung, devotion, the devotion that the elders need to make for the sake of the blessed children. But the word I hear more often than anything is the environment. Are we creating the right environment for our children to grow up naturally, beautifully, right? So I will be reporting more on our grand strategies and big plans, but I just want you to know that the core purpose of our work through Family Federation is to grow internally. And in that respect, there are two parts. You can say there's the sort of external part, which we will talk about more. It's like, we're making like a peace movement, right? Peace movement or true family movement with peace associates, people who, participate with us, who like the work we're doing, who maybe sometimes contribute something, some of their time, their donation, something like this. This kind of realm. But this kind of realm is still somewhat of an outer realm. So what's the inner realm? You hear Chombo, right? But frankly speaking, Chombo in the form of HTM that we have been conducting is largely still more of an outward expression. It's kind of like we've been creating the environment. We've been doing PR at that level. We've been expanding foundations, you could say, of the true family movement through the idea, through the blessing. But if we count those among us who are really involved in the internal sense, there's still only a handful, right? You know this, right? We need to focus on both these realms. And that's why I just wanted to share the context of this. We're going to be talking more about these two realms for Family Fed moving forward, because I believe all of us can play a significant role. But most likely, if you're watching this message, you are within this core realm. And often it is the realm that gets overlooked, neglected more than anything else. Everything's invested out here. And some of you have come to me with your kind of angst about that. Fundamentally, you can say, is there anything more important than creating an environment for our youth, for our blessed families to be healthy, happy, and public-minded? Because even if we expand into great territories, when they come in, if we're not truly happy and healthy internally, that's also a big problem, right? So I'm very honest about that with you, with True Mother. So this is kind of just some context I want to share with you. But the core idea I want to leave with you today is simple. What is Mother's idea? What is Mother thinking? We have to start to imagine Mother's thinking and Mother's mind beyond the restorational era of the past. We're already in the 11th year of Chernobyl. So we have to think beyond the restorational work, beyond the relation to all the problems and all the fall and all of that. What is the original dream? What is the original dream of Heavenly Parent? What is the real vision and what is in Mother's mind and Mother's heart? You have to consider, Mother's not complicated, actually. She's incredibly wise, very smart, and she understands all the details that are reported to her. But at the end of the day, Mother's simply wondering, and I've seen this with my own eyes, I've heard it with my own ears, I've been there in these circumstances, and I've spoken with those who are always around Mother. And the fundamental question Mother has, beyond, are the world level leaders understanding Mother's realm, Mother's leadership and all this. She wants to solve all the problems. But the fundamental question in her mind is, are my families happy? Are my children happy? Are they healthy? Are they warm? Are they fed? Are they healthy and happy? And are they able to pursue supporting the providence through their abilities, Are my families, are our blessed families happy, and are our children happy? Are our blessed children happy? And when she's thinking about the children, she's really thinking about, three things. Are they able to, understand the value of the blessing? That's still difficult for many of us, right? But are they able to understand the gift of purity that they've been given and to protect it? And we know so many struggle with that. We know there's so many stories with that. But are we able to create the environment where our children have a better fighting chance of really recognizing the gift, the blessing that they have of their purity, and how well can we help them to protect that and to prepare for their future family? And the second thing is, are they finding their true vocation? Are they able to pursue their interests with excitement, with passion, whatever it is? She's not asking, are they coming to church are they, can I see their record sheet of how many times they attended and how many times they did this and how many workshops they went to and all these things? She's really wondering, most fundamentally is, did they find their dream? Did they find their passion? And are they pursuing it? And do they have a public mind? Have we not, tainted their naturally public minds that they would naturally want to find a way to give to their community, to give to the world, to give to others? That their vocation can be an offering to the world. And the third point is that ultimately that one day they would be well guided and well supported to create a family of their own, a beautiful, blessed family of their own. It's really simple. And we know we've got many, many problems within our leadership, within our membership, within our families, within our couples, within our parent-child relationship, within the lives of our children, who, of course, none of us could truly raise perfectly, right? We do our best, but still we're struggling to understand, how to really create the environment so they can naturally grow up and be those children that true parents are longing them to be. And how painful it is when we know that we have done things to make it more difficult for our children, maybe. Or maybe we didn't do enough, or we did too much in this side, or not enough in this side, and so on. And maybe they struggled to keep their purity. Maybe they struggled to really keep some standard that we understand is important for them, right? But most fundamentally, know this. Mother always gives the benefit of the doubt to us. She doesn't even want to relate to the idea of problems and mistakes. And when I see this about Mother, I realize this must be Heavenly Parent's mind. This must be Heavenly Parent's heart, that no matter the mountains and the valleys and no matter the scraped knees and how many times we may bump into a wall or fall over a rock, they're just waiting for us to come home, to embrace our parents and to eat together, to meet together, and to multiply that love. This is this is all God wants. God wants us to just be in deep, loving relationship with God, true parents, and with one another. Many of the parents have expressed to me, let us really improve our education for our youth and so on. Yes, of course we will do that. But do you know what the most important education is? Not that which is found in the book or even in the scripture in printed form, but what is printed in the culture of our living form. So let us look upon the culture with which we communicate with our spouse, with our children, with our parents, with our leaders, with our members, with our community. What is the culture that we are creating? Because no matter how shiny the building, no matter how many are in the stadium, no matter how many heads of state are gathered to bow down to our true parents, the story that Mother's looking for is, how are you? How is your family? How is your children? Are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you able to advance with a public mind and find a way that your couple, that your family can contribute to this marvelous world that God has given us? Yes, there's problems, but we're not going to solve problems by talking and focusing on problems. The leaders of the solutions to those problems will be the people who are in lockstep with God's vision, true parents' vision, and already seeking to live that culture going forward. So, brothers and sisters, so many things are about to change. So many paradigms are shifting. Tectonic, plates are shifting. So we must understand. We're going into this new era with a new mindset. Hold on to the original, pure, beautiful heart of our true parents who's wondering, how are our children doing? How are our blessed families doing? So now I will call my daughter, who was just calling me, to find out how she's doing. Probably she needs to be picked up. This is it, guys. Let us really create a culture of love, the kind that Mother's thinking of. And yeah, we'll talk strategy. Yeah, we're going to talk goals and all of that. But you must know, at the core of it all is this. This is the conversation I wanted to have with you today. I hope you could understand. God bless you. Thank you. Have a great week. And thank you for being here right now. Hak Ja Han.